All right. Hello, everyone. We are back on another episode of Splitting Friends, where we introduce some of our friends to our community, and I will introduce my community to my friends. We support genuine creators. Just want to see all the genuine people out there growing. So we're going to support each other. And this week we are bringing Fine or Ryan on, and Ryan just became partner on Twitch. So we're going to talk a bit about that and talk about their journey, and they are on TikTok as well. So we were going to get into that, but let's bring Ryan on now. Hello, Ryan. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am
How is
doing
everyone?
great. Yes, excited to have you here. Finally got my coffee, and I have not eaten this morning, so I'm going to be drinking a lot of caffeine and shaking, and it's going to be great.
Not eating today. Mm-mm.
Oh, yes. Welcome to the life of Split.
Thank you for having me on.
Excited to have you on. Congratulations on partner.
Thank you.
Did you happen to get that award for best smile? Because your smile's
I do,
infectious.
I do not. That's just something that I just am. I guess like a couple years ago, like when I worked in retail, I didn't smile as much
That's
because I become
because it's
back then
retail.
I was like that person. Yeah, retail will you learn how to just put on the face to fit the situation in retail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one thing I didn't like about it. Like, I should be able to show like my true self, my true personality. And I always said, if my mouth doesn't say it, my face definitely
Oh my
will.
gosh, yes, and that's what I tell people all the time. So I was a car salesman for like 5 years, and I dealt with the same thing. And people like for me, I'm so used to like if you know you're new to my community and everything. One thing about me, I'm not very complimentary of myself, but I will say that I'm very nice and I'm a good person. I like to think, at least. And so I try and make people smile and try and make people happy. So as a car salesman, walking up to you on the lot and me being like, "Oh, hey, how are you today?" And then somebody going, "I'm fine, I got this, thanks." And I'm like, I'm just say hello. It's like, and I'm like, it's the worst because I'm so used to people being happy to see
Wow.
me, and then I had to deal with that. It was such a weird like getting used to. So I totally understand. Uh, and I, as somebody who is like genuine through and through, like I can't lie to save my life, and I don't obviously want to, so it works. But if I had to, I couldn't because I'm just like, wow, you look great today, and my Batman voice comes out, and I'm like, you look great today. So that's where I struggle. So I totally get it.
Gotcha.
Have you noticed any big differences after becoming partner? I know it's not like a switch, but has there been anything that like, because I know when I hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, and that's when everyone says, "Oh, it's a switch," and I'm like, I don't think it will be. And then everyone came in and they're like, "Oh, now that you're like a streamer," and I was like, "I was a streamer at 1 follower. Like, I don't know like what you're talking about, but sure." So I didn't know if there was anything like that or any. um
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a switch. It is people are gonna switch up on you. And I felt the same way when I got to 1,000. I felt the same way. Um when I started popping off on TikTok. And it's just an ever-growing issue that we have in the streaming community where we just it's not that we don't know, it's just that we just stop giving people their flowers when it's due. And we just people just don't want, not everybody, but some people just don't want to show or express their joy and their happiness when people win. And
Yep.
I don't know where it all stems from. I really don't. But like, that's the wonderful thing. Like when it happens, because you think back to, yeah, I was streaming for months for one viewer that was mostly stream, like I was a stream elements or Nightbot. And during that time, I needed to do that. Like I needed to only have like a small audience because I had to learn how to talk to people. I had to learn how to narrate, tell people what am I doing playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to present myself. It's a lot, like at the beginning stages of streaming. So to get to this point, and then people are gonna treat you like this, I'm just like, it's nothing to get upset about. It really isn't.
Yeah.
They just don't understand.
I was literally just talking about that. So I have a video coming to YouTube today, and I literally was talking about that exact thing in the video, which is really funny. So I'll have to send you the link so you can see it. But it was just so funny because we were literally talking about the exact same thing. And I always talk about this is I go back on Facebook where my friends from my hometown, and I mention like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'll have like one or two people reach out to me, and they're like, I'm so happy to see where you're going. And then everyone else is just so like, I also like assume a lot of times, but I do know that there are some people out there, just because I know those people, that are just like, oh, you're doing well. Blah. And I'm like, just be happy for people. Because you just became partner. How is that going to affect me other than I'm happy that my friend became partner? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're not, and I tell people all the time, like, if I'm growing, I'm bringing people up with me. I'm not putting them down. So like, what is the point? Like, I mean,
say it louder for the people in the back, please.
and I made the one mistake where, wouldn't say it was a mistake. I enjoy being a gamer, but my TikTok success has come from making, like, basically showing my personality being dumb on video, and it makes me happy and I'm glad, but I wish I would have pushed my gaming content a little more. Just because my community on TikTok consists of gays and angry Christians, and I love it. Like, I put one video out, oh my gosh, it was so fun. The amount of hate and amount of you're going to burn in hell is like phenomenal. I love it. And my only response is, all right, cool, I'll see you there, because the least I mean, yeah, I love all types of people. I'm not, I love all groups. There are great people and bad people in all groups, and it's just so funny to me because Christians come at me like, you're a sinner, and I'm like, yeah, Christians are the worst Christians. Like, I don't know what to tell you, like, in general. Like, a lot of times, not always. There are some good, a bunch of good Christians out there, so sending all the love.
Mm-hmm.
Sending all the love to you all. But it's just funny to me because, like, that's literally the difference in communities. Oh my gosh, I can go post something on TikTok and everyone's like, yes, queen. And then I go post something on YouTube Shorts, and then all the, like, country boys come in and like, you're homo. Like, I'm like, what? Like, where are you coming from? Anyways. But yes, so I guess we should probably go in more of a chronological order. How did you start getting into streaming?
Okay, so let's see. I was still in my mom's house at the time. Well, I guess the idea came from when I was still living with my mom. I was on Facebook, and I was just they have groups on Facebook where you can like dedicate it to like certain games, and they're like communities around that game where people's looking for people to play with, and I was doing that, and somebody invited me to Discord. This is how I found out about Discord. And stepped into this world of Discord where everything is all over the place. I don't know what this does. I don't know what this does. And I met this community, and the owner of the server, her name is Liz. We are still wonderful friends to this day. I met her community, and the game that they like to play a lot, they had like different like gaming nights. So they had like on Monday, it was Mario Kart. Wednesday was their biggest night. They were playing Splatoon 2. This is how I got into Splatoon. This was my very first shooter. I attempted Fortnite, and I was lost. I didn't even know how to start a match because I was so lost on the menu, like how y'all know how Fortnite used to look. It was not user-friendly like it is now. But I was playing with them, and I was just having such a good time. And this was like at the beginning of me playing games online with other people. Like before, it was just offline. I was only playing games offline. I was not playing online. We didn't have a strong internet connection because we live in the country.
That
But it was
hurts.
just so wonderful to be able to share this experience with another human being,
Hmm.
let alone a lot of them.
Yeah.
And even though I was terrible at Splatoon, they taught me. And they loved my enthusiasm, my personality, my humor. And they was like, you would be a really good streamer. Have you ever thought about streaming? I'm like, oh, stop it. No, I'm just playing the games. Nobody's gonna want to listen to me. I'm loud. I make jokes that are not funny. I don't know. So they kept saying it, and um, there was a time that, and also around the time a couple months later, DVD came out
Oh
on the
yes.
Switch.
Oh, DVD.
And this is where things took a tragic turn because once you get hooked on DVD, when you get so, it just becomes to the point where you're not having fun unless you win.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it affected every little thing that I did, every game that I played. Mario Kart. I didn't play Mario Party like that around that time, but I would love the series. Um, but just everything that I played online, I just carried the same energy from DBD into those games. And I just became a person that I wasn't very proud of.
Same.
And I made waves with a lot of people. And I just became a person that people just didn't feel comfortable around. So I was asked to leave the server. And then a couple months later, I was able to rejoin after I took some time to do some soul searching and figure out, when it comes to gaming online, how do I want to go about this? How do I want to present myself? How do I want people to see me?
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, I have to remember it's about having fun and
Yep.
it's just a game.
Yep. Especially as a streamer, because I feel like even if you're losing, you're winning a lot of times. Like, I have streamer friends who are competitive gamers, so like they have to win. I'm not. You're not here to watch me win. You're here to watch me be dumb. And so, like, if I'm losing, like, what's it really matter? And it took me until relatively recently, actually, because at first, it started off the same way as you. I'm just fun because I'm here. And then, like, all of a sudden, I started getting, like, upset. I'm like, ah. But I started assuming people were being jerks. And there's two games that I'll never forget. And I played one game, and there was this group of people, and they were like running around. I was chasing them, and I was getting like frustrated, and I was having fun, and um, and I became good friends with these people that I was going up against as the killer. And I, it wasn't until I watched their Twitch stream, because they were just starting streaming, and they were talking about like, I was looking at it from a different perspective. I was like, oh, I'm chasing him. I was getting like frustrated because I couldn't catch him. And then I went into their stream and I watched how happy they were, just being like having fun, gaming and everything. And when I went and picked him up, and I grabbed him and I hooked him, I end up going back and watching their stream later on, and their response was different than mine. I was like, oh, I'm so frustrated, I want to get you finally. And then after I got him, I cooled down, and they actually came into my stream, super sweet. And I went and watched their stream, and they're like, oh my gosh. And just their energy was so great that it made me realize, like, stop being a jerk and like just enjoy the game. And then I had another time where this one person did something, and I was like so frustrated with her, and I was like, ah, and I started being a jerk. And she came into my stream and was like, wow, I was gonna give you a follow and everything like that. And then I was like, you know, you're right. I'm being a jerk for absolutely no reason. And I assumed what they were thinking, and it was nothing along the lines. And I was like, stop. Like, you're stupid, and you're just being a jerk for no reason. So those two have kind of changed my mindset when gaming, especially on
Oh.
stream. So, but anyways, yes, I agree. And we actually had a very similar start. I was at my sister's when it all happened, and same thing, DVD. Well, I started on DVD, and my friends were like, oh, you should start streaming. I was like, I don't even know what streaming is. And they were like, just do it. And I was like, No one likes me. Like what? And I just started doing pretty well. I have to give my early on success, if you want to call success on Twitch, to Haslance, because if it wasn't for me, actually I found Haslance through Tinder. I matched with a guy and he was like, "Oh yeah, my friend from back in the day, Haslance, is a streamer." So I joined his community, and then I met Haslance at TwitchCon.
Okay, all right. Come on, connections.
But is a sweetheart, like, and has always been a sweetheart. So it's kind of fun how it came full circle around. I got to, it went from Haslands, and I got to meet Haslands at TwitchCon. So it's cool to see how everything kind of comes around. Instant, I don't want to say instant success, because it wasn't instant success, but it was instant for me, because like a lot of times I watched and I hear about people struggling to get their first to affiliate, and how hard it can be. And I was I have to associate that and appreciate Haslands for getting me there quickly.
Oh.
In his community. So shout outs, and just a loving community kind of to back me up. So that was pretty cool. Now, what have you learned about streaming since you started? What would you say has been a few things that you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing?
Everything in OBS.
Thank you. Yep.
OBS. There's like, you think you learned everything in OBS, and there's, oh, did you know you could do this instead of doing that? Or what if we told you that this is the shortcut, so you don't have to keep clicking on all this other stuff, and you can group things, you can reorganize things, and if you change your settings, stuff might be a little different on stream for you. But past the technical stuff, what I gained some insight from streaming is there's just a lot of people that's really going through some things. And as fortunate as I am to be in this position where I have the ability to bring some joy and love and laughter and being able to put a smile on people's faces, like, it might not change their situation, but it can at least uplift them for at least a couple of hours,
Right.
and give them that motivation to just keep on going. And I really want to make mental health a big focus in my community, but not the place where we can all come and trauma dump, of course, but because there's a time and place for everything. But at the end of the day, I want people to look at the bigger picture. There's obviously something else I could be doing with my time. Like, I could be going to the gym. I could be visiting family members. I could be hanging out with friends. I could be going out to the club partying. Or I could be sleeping since I'm on second shift.
What's sleep? I haven't had that in like forever.
Exactly. But during this time, whether it be 2 o'clock in the morning, like a couple hours after I got off work, or if I am feeling up for the morning stream, but this time is a time that I want to spend with them, because not everybody, wherever they are, is just not, they might not be in a good place. They may be in, they just might not be in a good place at that time, and they just need an escape. Or they just need a friendly face to look at. They need someone to make them feel appreciated. And I want to be that person. So when I see people in chat, they say that they feel safe here and they look forward to it. And I'd be so surprised when I stream on TikTok and I see wow, this many people. This is 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, go to bed. Like, and I see, and even when they make comments like, I'm supposed to be up for work in about 4 hours, I'm like, go to bed. But in all honesty, it feels good that they still want to take that time to just hang out with me and get whatever they need off their chest. And that's why we opened up the mental health thread in our Discord,
Good.
so we could talk about these things. We have the help tickets and everything to get them in touch with resources for those that need it. But honestly, the biggest thing that I learned past the technical stuff is we're all human,
Yeah.
we have feelings, and we are all worthy and deserving of love. And honestly, if we spent more time spreading love wherever we go, and that's the thing in my rave message, be sure to take care of yourself and spread love and kindness wherever you go.
Right.
The world, especially the streaming community, would be a much better place.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to get with you on your Discord threads and stuff because I should probably implement that. I just don't know how. Um, but I really like that. That's really cool because for me, one thing that I've lived a very fortunate life. I'm not gonna say that I came from any hardships, other than the fact that my parents were broke at some certain points of my childhood, and I'm very fortunate. But I will say I have to thank Twitch and I have to thank actually getting on social media. Everyone looks at social media as this bad thing, and I'm trying to make it a good, positive place. And I know a lot of people, especially the people I bring on here, are people trying to do the same thing. And one thing that I struggled with as an adult and growing up was the fact that almost like I grew up too fortunate and I didn't realize a lot of the things that were going on in the world because I was pretty sheltered. I didn't grow up with homophobia in my household. I didn't grow up with racism in my household. So they were things that I didn't know were a thing. And like after like kind of getting into the world and seeing all these people on Twitch and social media, it really, really opened my eyes. And it was I'm glad it did because then it made me become an advocate for a lot of these things that I didn't think were real. And after kind of experiencing that through other people, it was really nice because it allowed me to go out and help people who were struggling with these things. Like, hey, this happened to me. I have people texting me, I have people messaging me on different socials saying, like, hey, this is what happened for me today. And your stream or your TikTok helped me today. And it's really nice to hear, but I'm glad to see that it's working. Trying to help people and trying to get them into a better mental health space. Like you said, it's not going to fix things, but it'll give them maybe an outlook in, and maybe in certain instances, not me personally, but going out and watching people, you know, being successful and making them want to be, oh, wait, I can do something like that, and inspiring them. Um, I don't want to talk too much, but I will bring up somebody that I watch on TikTok who I became a pretty big fan of through my cousin is Dakota Wright. I don't know if you watch Dakota on TikTok, but Dakota
I haven't
does.
heard of them.
Dakota is a just a food. Uh, they're in like the food area of TikTok, so they're like every time they go out and they get something, they like mention their orders and things like that.
Do they cook? Do they?
No,
Do
they
they?
just they go out and order food and they just make it silly because they show their personality and their personality is just very fun and energetic. So they're like, Wendy's orders, and then they're going and like, so then they go and they order their food and like, all right, bitches, that's what I got, and it's just so wonderful. And my cousin who is straight came to me and was like, hey, you need to go follow this person because they're like so amazing. And my cousin, it wasn't until recently that I actually became friends with Dakota, and my cousin was telling me, oh my gosh, every time I'm going through something and I'm really sad or I'm depressed, for some reason Dakota's videos pop up and it makes me feel better. And it kind of made me realize that I got to see it from that perspective versus the content creator who people are coming to. So I never actually got to see it from their point of view until my cousin started having those experiences with Dakota. So that was pretty cool for me and eye opening.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say if they make food or if they do reaction videos and stuff. Oh yeah, we're gonna go watch because I like them
I will
videos.
get you a link to their content. They're actually
Thank
probably
you.
going to be on here. I talked to them about it. They're going to be on here coming up soon. So that's
Okay,
exciting.
all right.
But yeah, they're good people. And that's what I like to surround myself with. Because if I do grow, like I said, it's like you can go support the Kardashians who don't give a crap about you. And I'm not talking shit on the Kardashians. It's just they're just that they don't care about our everyday life, right? Or you can go support your friends who are making content and trying to grow and make a positive place for people on social media and make social media a positive thing versus a negative thing. So when I say support genuine creators, that's what I mean. And
Yes.
I appreciate being surrounded by people like you and people who are trying to do those things.
I appreciate it.
Is there anything that, of course, is there anything from, I guess, moving forward that you would like to learn or start to incorporate into your content?
I have become addicted to like having these elements in stream that my community can help with interacting with
Mm-hmm.
me. Like they can play sound alerts, and I want to learn mix it up so they can do these cool things like on stream. It's just a way. Just I want to get more engagement from them. Not to say that they're not engaging enough now because they are.
Yeah,
But this is just another like I don't
engagement.
want them to just look at the screen as somebody playing a game and somebody running their mouth. Like I want to like see them be I want them to feel like they're here with me.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I never kind of understood that. I've seen I crap on TikTok a lot for that, just because it's not TikTok's fault, but it's the people who are on TikTok. I think because a lot of times people blow up on TikTok for the wrong reasons. And so whenever I go and I watch Twitch, I have seen this on Twitch too, where it's like people are playing and they're not interacting with the people chatting with them. Now, don't get me wrong. Uh, I know a person who lives within like walking distance, very close to me, who has like 630,000 followers on Twitch. And I understand not interacting with everyone in your chat. Like that makes sense. It's almost impossible. And um but like if you have 5 people in chat, why are we not interacting with them? Like what's so to me, the way I look at it is, what's the point of me streaming if I'm not interacting with my community? Like I'm here for you all. And
That part.
like I go and I game. I game outside of streaming. I'm a genuine gamer. Um and a nerd. I know you probably couldn't tell because so gorgeous and whatnot. But no, I'm just kidding. No, but like, I am a genuine gamer, and I am genuinely a nerd and a person who loves science and things like that, and that's going to show on stream. However, when I get on stream, I'm there for my community. I'm there to be with my community. So why not? If I want to game and not interact with people, for me, that's what. Okay, so I'll be a gamer instead of a streamer or a content creator.
Yeah,
No
I've
shade, but
always believed that maybe they don't do it intentionally.
yes.
Like maybe I always like to look at this with good intentions. I don't really think that they took all this time to buy all this stuff, all this setup. They know they see them two blue lights right next to their camera. It's on. They know somebody is looking at them. And like from time to time, they'll look over at it. They might not read the message out loud. And can I just say one thing? If we don't see,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't read your message out loud, it's not that we didn't
Right.
see it. We saw it. We just, and you learn this the hard way because you'll accidentally read something that some troll is going to put in your chat that it's just the thing that you do. You read the chat to acknowledge to your chat that you read their message so they don't have to repeat it.
Yep.
It's something that happens a lot on TikTok that we have to keep reiterating. But just because we didn't read it out loud, that doesn't mean we never saw it. But there are those that they'll look over at it and you'll see that they did, like in DBD.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Boo Boo's still here, right? TTV. Hey, Boo Boo. Boo Boo knows when playing DBD. After you watch somebody stream DBD for a minute, you will know when to type a message in their chat. When they do a gen, when they work on a total, when they're healing somebody. Don't type a message that you want them to read while they're trying to loop the house down. Okay? When they're trying to hit a skill check.
I'm infamous for literally running in circles throughout the entire match trying to reach it. So I'm like, they're like, "Are you gonna get a gen?" I was like, "Oh shit!"
And then playing killer, I'm just gonna tell y'all right now. If you see me stream Dead by Daylight, but let alone play killer, I'm not worried about y'all until everybody is on the floor or they're hung up like Christmas lights. I am focused. I'm in this moment. Maybe in the animation where I'm hooking somebody, I'm like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Okay, back to game mode.
Yeah, but that's what I like about Fortnite is like 90% of the match you're just running to a location anyways, so you can interact with chat a little more. But I do agree with you. A lot of times it's not intentional. What I mean is I've literally been on TikTok and there was a camera of a person sitting laying back shirtless. I wonder where he got his following from. And on his phone like this, and he'd go like this. And go back to typing. I'm like, it's like, come on.
Wow.
I genuinely think a lot of people are on social media and becoming content creators just for the money. And it makes me so sad because I've seen so many times. So don't get me wrong. There are entertainment elements to content creation where you're on to entertain people. I respect that, but I'm sorry, but if I ever make it in the social media industry and start getting up there, like my goal is to go and try and make the world a little better in some way. Like I'm gonna use my platform to try and help people. There are entertainment elements too, so like obviously you got to do that to grow. But like I struggle asking people to subscribe on Twitch, let alone like come watch me read text messages to myself. Like
I'm just gonna let them do them. If that's what works for them, that's what works for them. That's another thing I learned about streaming. Learn how to stay in your own lane. If people want to make a spectacle of themselves, you do not have to get on your soapbox about it, let alone tell them what your opinion of that is. Please stay in your lane. Focus on your content. Do you? If what works for them works for them.
Yeah.
I think people feel the need to comment because it don't work for them and they want to.
Well, and that's my thing too, is like obviously I'm not gonna go after the creator or come for them for it. I'm just gonna like look at it and go, I'm not watching them on their phone, so I'll swipe away. But like I agree that I'm here for love, I'm not here for hate, so there's no reason to go in and like, you know, if you're there watching, I mean, good for them, but that's just not what I'm here for. And I was just like watching people sleep on TikTok. I just don't understand it, but hey, some people enjoy it, so go do that, I guess.
They could be doing a 24-hour and during that time.
That's true.
But me personally, I would be banned if I were to record myself while I'm just sleeping. Like I see they even changed the title to "I'm only sleeping." Well, honey, I don't only sleep when I sleep, so yeah. We're gonna end stream. We'll pick this up again tomorrow. But if that works for you, that's fine. But I get up, I do my normal routine. I'm going to yawn. My bed is going to be messy. When I first started streaming, I was okay with having a messy bed. Like in the background, everybody saw it. Then once I got more established and everything and wanted to be a little, not to say that if you have a messy bed when you stream, you're not established or you haven't matured as a content creator or anything, but me personally, it's a pet peeve of mine. I have to have my bed made up.
There's a reason why I only show this portion of my room when I stream.
Yes, there is a reason why you don't see the whole bed. Because it's not that I don't like this side. Like I have a very small room, but when you watch a couple of game shows and when you watch people, like when you watch like other podcasts or when you watch people do like tours and when you watch them do like they're just chatting and then you notice some things in the background, you're just like, Before I say something, let me just go check my bonds to make sure I haven't been doing this yet. And if I have, okay, so let's not say anything. But if not, okay. So now that I know that there's no evidence, so I'm not going to create a double standard here.
I may have once, twice, or thrice had people laying in my bed while I'm streaming. And it's like so awkward because they're great. They're just like, I'm gonna be on my laptop or my iPad, and I'm like, and then I see the eyes look at me. I'm like, shit. It's like then I get distracted. You can't not look.
Yep.
But we have talked about TikTok a lot. What made you? Did you start Twitch before TikTok?
I was on Twitch before TikTok. And the reason why I got into it is because I'm like, I like how it's just like what you said. Like, you really do not have to do anything extravagant to get like a whole bunch of views or to get a bunch of eyes on your content. Like, there are folks that are a lot older than me and they're just sitting there dancing with their grandkids, just having a good old time. And if they could get like what 2 or 3 couple mil views, just views, not likes, but just views. Yeah. I mean, let me get up on here and see what I can do. And then, the gaming thing took off. Everybody started posting their gameplay on there. I'm like, okay. And I heard that was what I looked into growing my community, because the algorithm, okay, let's just be completely honest. The algorithm ain't there on Twitch. This new discovery thing that they're going to be coming out with, which is like a watered down version of TikTok. If you look at it that way, it's not going to break barriers. It's a step in the right direction. It is. I like that they're finally getting it. But I wanted to get on TikTok for more engagement. And I want to say the clientele of TikTok is much different than the clientele of Twitch. For me personally, with my experience with TikTok, not to say that the folks that you'll meet on Twitch are not real or down to earth, but I feel like on TikTok, people are more prone to speaking their mind, and I can connect with them. Maybe because I can see their profile picture, or maybe because, well, they think this is like Instagram Live, or what's another website that has Facebook has lives. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. It feels like you're dealing with local people rather than on Twitch. They could be anywhere in the world. So I feel like that's, I feel like I can connect with people more on TikTok versus than I can connect with them more on Twitch. Hopefully that will change in the future. But for some reason, I feel like I can connect more on TikTok, and I actually have more fun on TikTok because, like, I get, like, when you see this many people, like, so-and-so join, right. They join, and they lift you likes, and they send you gifts and stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I get more value from it. So when you feel like when you feel like you're being valued more, when you feel like you're connecting with people more, and they let you know that.
Yeah.
Like, I know most people that I've met on Twitch are very reserved. They're very laid back, and they lurk, and that is fine. Shout out to the lurkers out there, because y'all make up Twitch. Lurkers make up Twitch. And I know, and it's just wonderful when you finally get that message, like, you've seen them in your chat before, and they're like, I'm breaking, like, to say, like, they compliment you, or to LOL, and even when they're normally a lurker, and I'm like, I'm not gonna, because you normally lurk, but I will acknowledge it. But I just wanted to be able to expand my community. Right. I'm just up here posting videos of me playing Mario Party. I did not know one was going to pop off the way that it did, but it did. And well, look where we are today.
Yeah, that kind of happened for me too, because I was always, I never went on TikTok. I never went on TikTok until I started making content on TikTok, kind of like Twitch. And when I first got on TikTok, I was on TikTok for about a year. I never really posted anything. I would post a silly video that I was like, oh, I'm going to Elton John. I made a silly little video, and it got like 500 views. Cool. And then I posted another one like months later, and I got another couple hundred views. I was like, cool. So over time, I got to about 400 something followers on TikTok. And I was at the dealership one night and I made a video. I was like, I never really go on TikTok, but guess what? I'm bored as hell right now. I'm going to make a TikTok video. And I got 1,200 views or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I could be famous. Like, you know, when you first start and you're like 1,200 views, if you're getting 1,200 views and that's what you're getting, good for you. This is not me saying anything bad about being at that, getting that on a regular basis. That's great. And I'm happy for you. It's just, whenever you go from 1,200 views and you start making videos, and then you're getting up into like, okay, now we're getting 10,000 views every time we post, and now I'm getting I have a couple of views or videos where I'm getting 300,000 views and things like that. That to me, it's like, it started with 1,200, felt like everyone was seeing me. And originally it was, how can I get people over to my Twitch? Then TikTok started doing well.
That part.
Yeah. But also at the same time, I did this experiment. I walked in because I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings at one point, and I walk in and everyone's like talking to me about TikTok, and I said, yeah, well, here's why. Like on Twitch, I may have, I think at the time I was like, oh, I have 1,500 followers, and I'm like, I'm more proud of those 1,500 than the 30-some thousand that I have on TikTok, because it's like, how many people here have heard of Twitch? One person raises their hand. I'm like, all right, who's heard of TikTok? And then everyone's like, so I'm like, that, and that's why. And that's why. And I'm like, but to me, I started, as I was growing, it took off at the very beginning. And it blew up probably after like 2 months. I was in the 30,000 range. And then I kind of stopped making content after I got a little shadow banned, and I got upset, and now I'm stuck at like 36,000. I can't grow. I'm like trying. I'll grow like 100 every month or something, but it was fun while it lasted. But it brought me to so many people, and now I just have fun with it and don't care where I'm at follower wise. I'm enjoying YouTube though.
It seems I might decide to try YouTube. I've just seen how vicious people can be on
Oh my
YouTube in the
God.
comments. But I did hear that you can choose to turn the comments off on certain things. But I'm like, I don't want to deny people their right to express their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to be a little bit smarter about it and think before they express that opinion.
Yep. I mean, I like feedback. So if I'm on YouTube, YouTube's fun because you get
Constructive feedback.
constructive. I've had, when I first started, okay, so I same with TikTok as I did on YouTube. I posted every once in a while, not really caring about my YouTube. So I didn't really care about it. Got to like 200 followers and or subscribers, and I wasn't like worried about it. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to do a reaction video. I'll do a reaction video. Who am I gonna watch? And I was like, oh, Dimash. I love Dimash, and they're fun to react to because they're just so freaking insane. If you've ever heard of Dimash, you know what I'm talking about. And like a 6-octave range, like insane. And I'm sitting there, and then I realize that all of these countries from like Asia were loving that I was reacting to Dimash. And that's when my YouTube, I'll say blow up. It blew up for me because I went from 200 subscribers to like 1,300 in a week, and it was doing really well. And then to me, like, I just think it's cool that like now I have most of my following on YouTube's from some Asian countries, and I think it's so cool. Because I always told people as a kid, I'm like, I don't want to be famous. I just want to be famous in like Japan or something, where I like, oh, I can go be famous somewhere. So it's just funny because that kind of like popped into my head. I'm like, what if I keep doing Dimash videos and like all of my following is from different Asian countries? But the point is that the constructive criticism came from that was, hey, we don't all speak English and you're reacting to Dimash. Can you put captions on? And I didn't know, if you know anything about YouTube and making videos, you have to type out all of your captions for every word you say. Yeah. But there's a program on Microsoft that whenever you edit your video, you can put captions on and it automatically fills them in and puts the time signature on them, so that way you can download it and upload it to YouTube, and it does it all for you. Thank God, because I was not gonna be able to do
Mm,
that.
dang.
I'm down for putting effort in, but not that much.
Right. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Has there ever been anything with creating content that's been kind of hard for you? Any things you've had to go through that made it rough?
Uh, Dealing with the trials of technical difficulties when you're trying to isolate what that particular issue is. So you try to troubleshoot some things, you try to reinstall some things. But the biggest thing that's helped me get through that is asking for help.
Yes.
So, guys, if you don't remember anything we say during this whole segment, take this away with you. Never be ashamed,
Ever.
and also never be too proud to ask for help, because you sit up here trying to figure this out and you might end up making stuff worse for you, and it's just sitting there staring you right in the face, the solution.
Mm-hmm.
But like YouTube can't teach you everything. TikTok definitely can't teach you everything. TikTok is probably going to show you the method that's probably going to get you in trouble. But like, I would try to reach out to folks on Twitter, on Facebook, or in Discord, like mutual Discord servers that I'm in, to see if they could help me with this particular issue. Like, is my bit rate choppy? Why do I sound like a robot, like my mic sometimes?
Right.
Um, Certain things like that. And I reach out to them whenever they have the opportunity. Some of them will even get in a call with me and make me share my screen. And it just feels so good. I mean, just because you're not going to get like a whole bunch of, I know some people that do, they get a whole bunch of people that's willing to help. You might just get that one or two people that'll do it. I'm going to take a moment to shout out Thick Thighs. I'm going to take a moment to shout out Empire. They always willing to come through and help me with that kind of stuff. When it comes to I guess you could say, apart from the technical difficulties, but like ways that I can improve as a content creator, some
Mm-hmm.
things that I should incorporate to bring more quality to my streams. Gotta give a huge shout out to Kiwi on the Sticks,
Oh,
because she's always puts out the best. If y'all are not following Kiwi on the Sticks, oh my gosh, so funny and gives the
that's so good.
absolute best advice. And I have followed her advice to the T, and I've seen so much improvement, so much quality being brought to my content. It's amazing. I wouldn't have been there without Thick Empire and Kiwi and a ton of others
Yes.
that have taught me so much
Absolutely.
and helped me get through difficult times, really.
Yeah, I had the similar experience, and I do want to back what you're saying too. Asking for help does not show weakness. It does not show anything other than that you have a strong community and strong people backing you to help you out. I there are things that I'm really good at, not many, but there are things that I'm really bad at too, and I go and I get people who are really good at to help me, and that's how you create a strong team. I reach out to people all the time asking for help. So I do have to give a shout out. I gave a shout out to Haslands for helping me get started on my community. But I have to give a shout out to iPuppy as well for always helping me with my technical difficulties. Such a sweetheart. Love you, iPuppy. And has taught me so much, especially with audio, especially at the beginning. So thank you for that. I do have a quick little story. I This is embarrassing, but I'm proud of it anyways because it doesn't show anything other than the fact that I care about people and I want to help them. But I went to my local coffee shop and I was like, hey, I want to put on like a little class on how to get into streaming and to start making content on social media. And nobody showed up. And so that's the embarrassing part. But
Oh,
oh well, I tried though. I was trying to help
you
people.
tried.
And I had made posters and I went into a Staples and there was a guy in there working who had literally like the exact same following, maybe 100 follower difference. So we're in the same spot, right? And the girl who was helping me goes, "Oh my gosh, so and so, this person's doing a little class on streaming and how to get into it and everything like that." And the guy's response was, "I've been doing it for 2 years. I don't need help." And I was like, let me go look you up first of all, because I want to see where you're at. Because like I'm curious at this point. Like, not that it matters, because I don't care if I have 1 million followers or 5 followers. You can learn from anybody. Like, but I was sitting there. I told myself, I will never be that person. I will never sit there and be like, oh, I'm too good. I can never learn from anybody. He doesn't know what my following is like. I could have been 1.3 million followers on Twitch, and it was just so I was sad. It made me really sad. I was like, wow. But I told myself I will never be there, ever.
There you go.
Always ask for help.
There you go.
Don't
You
be afraid.
can. It's never too late, and every single day, that's what I learned in retail. Like, I try to incorporate my job into streaming as much as I can. Always be willing to learn something new. There's something in here that you don't know how to do yet, and if you're gonna learn it yourself, or somebody's gonna teach you, and then when you do, to show that you mastered it, teach it to somebody else.
Absolutely. Again, help people rise with you. Don't push other people down to grow faster. I've never understood that mindset. I will never understand that mindset. So help people. Help people.
Yeah.
Speaking of helping people, I know we touched upon this a little bit, but I want to dive into a little more, Mr. Partner. So what was your journey like after you started and got established to becoming partner? That's pretty exciting.
You talking about the push? Oh Lord. Okay. So the push. Well, this is kind of similar to the affiliate push when you're trying to keep that average of 3. You're trying to get those 3 people to stay interested. And I actually wanted to, not to throw shade, but I actually wanted to take the genuine approach to it and get the unique three actual people to watch me. I ain't call my mom and be like, your iPad charged up. Can you pull the stream up? My friends and everybody else, get on your computer. I really, because I can't do the same thing with partner. I can't go ask everybody in my contact list to hit them up and be like, can you watch me for like 30 minutes? I just need 30 minutes. But yeah, it was a journey. It was a very fulfilling, worthwhile, and ongoing journey. When you get the check mark, it's not it. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not it. I hate to tell you this, but you're just getting started at this point.
Oh yeah. I bet.
You just got your feet wet a little bit. You tested the waters as affiliate. This was cute. Okay. We learned we got a little taste of what the ocean was like, and now once you hit partner, there's so much stuff. It's exciting. It's exciting to see, like, oh my gosh. But the journey of figuring out what you want to do as a content creator. And even I know some people that even when they hit partner, they still don't know what they want to do. But I think it's important the time that you spend as affiliate to learn what you want your brand, if you're going to have one, what you want your content, what you want this whole thing to be centered around. And I always said, when people ask me when I changed my name, like, why did you change your name? When I changed my name, I wanted it to be a reflection of where I was at in my current journey.
Right.
So we started off as Fecker. This was around the time when, I'm new, I'm fresh, I want to have fun. I want to be adventurous. I want to branch out. I want to do the variety thing. So it was cute. Then we went to Fakisha. So we have attitude now. We have sass. We are we're doing collaborations now. We're being more comfortable in our personality. Um, we're just we want to be that bitch. Okay, we're trying to be that bitch now.
Love that.
But our mouth kind of got us in trouble a little bit. So now we kind of need to tone it down a little bit. We need to mature a little bit. We gotta know when it's okay to be messy, when it's okay to be the drama. And then after I worked really hard and I realized I wanted to put myself into my content, into my brand a little bit more. That's when I decided I want everybody to call me Ryan. Let's kind of step away from the username. Like I have a pretty plain username, like nothing too extravagant, nothing too sassy, but still something unique. And why did I choose Fine? Because basically that's I'm not like it's not sarcastic when I say like I'm fine. I'm not. But right now I'm content in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy and I'm comfortable where I am, but I'm gonna make sure that I don't get too comfortable because sometimes when you get too comfortable, that's when you start slacking off.
Right.
But I did have an acronym for it. I put it in my upcoming intro video that I'm gonna have. I coined an acronym for it.
See,
Oh my gosh,
fancy.
I wish I could pull it up right now. But what it actually stands for, that what each letter stands for, but it basically describes my content.
Oh, I love
And
that.
yeah, it's not anything depressing like when I say I'm fine and I'm really not. But honestly, right now, everything is great. I've learned a lot. I'm excited to learn more. Um, I'm blessed and I'm just thankful to be here and to be able to continue to do this and have this opportunity. And
I
yeah.
I totally understand. I try and jump back and forth between, do I want it to be based around my real name or split? And I still don't know. And sometimes I don't want to be split out anymore. I just want to be split.
Just out of curiosity,
Yes.
have you always been split underscore owl or
I
um
Funny. Actually, because I was sitting there with my friend, who when we first started streaming, and I was like, "What do I want my name to be?" And they were like, "I don't know," because it was the shape. Because I was playing DVD and I loved Michael Myers, so I was like, "The shape." And I was like, "But that's not me. That's somebody else that I'm trying to be," and I've always been that way, where it's like, "Oh, who am I interested in right now?" Tony Stark? Cool. I want to start being cool like Tony Stark. Oh, who's this person? Oh, a genius. Okay, cool. I want to start being smart. Like those types of things. And I always was trying to be somebody else. I was never myself. So I was like, who am I? And I love the character Two Face from Batman. So that's where Split kind of came in. And I love owls. So and then I look at the tattoo on my chest, and it's half of a night sky and half of an owl face. And so
okay.
that's where I came up with Split Owl. And I was like, Split Owl. And I was like, I love Split Owl. And I go to my friend and I'm thinking Split Owl. And they go, that's dumb. And I was like, oh. And
Well,
then I was,
there's a backstory to it though. You provide us a reason why you did it. So why is that dumb?
and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? It feels right. Especially the split and split out, I mean entirety, but the split part. And then I started realizing that when I was split, I was really confident. And when I was Austin, I turned to a little bitch and I was afraid to talk to anybody again. And I blame that on my ex, because I used to be a people person. I could go talk to anybody. Now I have struggled making eye contact 4 years later from being in the relationship.
Mm,
And that's a struggle that I'm
mm.
coming up with. But becoming split, made me have this confidence. When I was split, I had okay, so like I'm gonna think about how I want to say this. When when I'm split versus Austin, when I'm Austin, I walk into a bar and I don't know, people say people look at me, but I don't believe it. I don't see anyone looking at me. I don't get any attention. But when I'm split, I have corn stars coming into my DMs. I have all these other people that I look up to wanting to be friends with me. And I have all this attention as split, but never as Austin. And then I'm sitting there, probably about a year into it, and I go, split is Austin. Split just Austin being comfortable with himself. So then at that point, that's when I was like, you know what, you're right, to myself, this conversation, because that's what crazy people do. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change. I'm going to be this confident person outside of Split Out. And so now that my name is out there, I don't really push the Austin thing too much. I still kind of go by Split, but people are starting to know. So now I have more of this confidence, especially because I've been recognized a couple times. One from Twitch, the other from TikTok. Usually it's on Grindr, but it's like it maybe. But like I was like, wait, I am that person. Like this isn't somebody who's just on the internet that I am not, that I'm trying to be. That's me. You've done this. Yeah. You started off with 0 followers just like everybody else. So go be proud of what you've done. Like I have people come all the time, like, and I tend to forget because I'm living like, oh, well, I should be here or I should be doing this. And people are like, but look what you've done. And that's starting to get to me in a good way. Like I'm starting to be like proud of what I've done over the last 2.5 years. And that's, but anyways, yeah, Split Out came from tattoo on my chest.
But
and my split personality.
I love the content that you gained. But I mean, that's what I wanted to gather. I'm like, surely you don't mean you have a split personality or you suffer from multiple personality disorder or anything. But I think what you were I think what you meant was, you know, there's a side of you that's a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more comfortable. And then there's a side of you that's a little bit more reserved, a little more held back, a little bit more mature. But the important thing is they're both a part of you. That's what makes you you. So yeah, that's good. That's good. I like the name for that.
As time goes on, though, thank you. As time goes on, I do start to realize that there are more splits to, like the name holds true more and more as I think about it. So like when I come on here, I'm very positive. I mean, I'm a positive outside of it. There's a reason why I'm saying this. So bear with me for 2 seconds. I get on here and I'm like, I want everyone to be happy and I want everyone to be who they are and accept who they are and just make the world a beautiful, happy place where you're just being yourself. When I see somebody being themselves, it makes me smile on the outside. It makes me smile on the inside. That's all I genuinely want for everyone. Then the split comes in where there are truly, genuinely bad people out there who are trying to stop those things. And that's where I go from peaceful, wanting people to be happy, to angry protector of those people. And I look at it like there's a movie that just came out. I'm trying to think of what it's called, but it's about I'm trying to be careful what I say because of TOS. But about, I'm trying to think of, what's the movie called? But it's a,
okay, describe the movie to me.
That's where I'm trying to be careful.
In PG-13 terms as best as you can, and we'll see if we can help you out with it, okay?
I'm going to use Google. Okay, Sound of Freedom. Have you heard of it?
I've never heard of it, but what is it about?
This is where about rings involving people who are not of age and what's going on in the world.
It's called what again?
Sound of Freedom. Go look it up. It is a movie that makes people very emotional. I don't want to talk about too much on just because TOS. But that's where the protector, I would, that angry, that angry protection side of me, instead of being the peaceful, oh, I want everyone to be happy, that's where I come out and I'm like, okay, protect. And like, I would take a bullet for somebody in a heartbeat kind of situation.
Okay, so you could say it's like the movie Taken.
Yes. Yes. Like the movie
Okay,
Taken. Yep.
but this one actually did happen. Not somebody lied about it, and yeah, I'm throwing
Yeah.
shade. Can't know
Mm-hmm.
who they are. But in all seriousness, okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So those types of things, I go from that I want people to be happy and I'm here to create a positive place to I'm a protector. If I ever see something like that happen, there's a switch. I go from fun loving to protect. And like this happened. I was at a bar and there were loud bangs outside, and we got the call to stay inside and locked up. And my first instinct is to stand between my friends and the person outside. So luckily, it wasn't targeted at the bar. It was a argument that happened outside the bar, outside of the community. But that's just a way to put it in perspective. That I think that adds to my splitness too. There are times where
I got you.
you want to love and times where you want to fight, and a lot of times it ties them together. But long rant for no reason. Um,
No, 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 it's not.
but back to you and staying somewhat on track. Um, any advice you have for streaming?
Just in general, or for those that's just starting out, or for those that's maybe thinking about getting into, where do we
How,
want to go from there?
however you want to interpret it, but let's say thinking
I
about starting and then maybe at the beginning of something that you could do that most people don't think of.
All right. So we'll begin with if you're starting out or thinking about it, the important thing I will say to remember is always do what you feel comfortable. Just because you see somebody else doing something and it works for them, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it thinking that you're going to blow up and be popular like they will. Like there are times to step outside your comfort zone and try new things, but if you ain't ready to do that, believe me, it will show. A lot of people will see that. It's not something that you're going to be able to hide. It's not something you'll be able to mask. So always do what makes you comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Play the games that make, if you want to play games, because there's more to streaming, there's more to content creation than just playing video games. You could go into makeup, you could do real live streams, you could do DJing, you could do dancing, you could play instruments, you can sing, you can do podcasts, you can do reaction videos. Don't think you have to immediately, right out the
Yep.
gate, think you have to be an esports legends for people to watch you. No, 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 no. Start off by doing something very chill, something that speaks to you, but
Right.
most important that you are comfortable.
Yep. You're always nobody can be you better than you. People can try to be you. If people are trying to be you, then you know you're doing something right. But people will try to be you, and you'll want to try and be somebody else. Don't just be you. Follow what you genuinely want to do, and stuff will come. People can grow and be have 1 million followers in 2 days, or people can grow and have 100,000 over an amount of time. It's just about who you are and what you're doing, and people are doing better. I know people who have half the following of other people and are making it better because they're just being themselves and doing the content they want to do, and brands are reaching out to them for it and things like that because they're just being themselves. So um we can I'm gonna take a little bit of a quote from Billy Joel because he's my favorite and I know too much about him. Um,
Oh,
but anybody can sit down at a piano and play a song perfectly. If you practice, you sit there and you do it. However, it's when you make mistakes, nobody can make a mistake the same way you do. That's when you are truly unique, is your mistakes and how you come back from them. So I feel like that's a
that's
good
true.
way to look at things because if you're not making mistakes, you're also doing something wrong. at the same
That's
time.
true. You
So,
had to make mistakes to get there. And I always say practice don't make perfect. It just leads to improvement.
very true. Very true. Plus, I think a lot of times perfect's boring.
Perfect is very boring.
Yeah, that's why I'm
I
so
do not
interesting.
strive to be perfect. I'm not going to be. I've
Hmm.
never wanted to be. I think imperfections is what makes us all beautiful.
Yeah, that's why I'm very beautiful because I'm very imperfect. I It drives me crazy in a good way, in a bad way. Like you mentioned earlier, I post a lot of it on Instagram. I look, y'all. I am not sexy. I sure. Some people think I'm attractive. Whatever. I don't know. I don't. That's up to
Because
opinion.
you are.
I don't know what you mean, but
I
thank you.
already had. I'm. So this is what we're gonna start doing right now. We're gonna start manifesting. One and two. We're gonna be more positive about ourselves. That's what we finna do.
You know,
I'm
I
always preaching this to everybody. Like
yeah.
I tell them all the time. I've always like, I wish my eyebrows looked like that. I wish I had longer lashes. Like, there's so many things I wish that people have, and then when I see them, like, I'm like, oh, I could just snatch you right now.
Uh-huh. Yep. But I also
Yes.
to me, I find a lot of beauty and not taking yourself too seriously either. Like I see all these people on Instagram where I'm like, oh my God, they're like so perfect. And then you like start to look at their personality and you're like, what? And it makes them unattractive. I'm like, what the heck? You take yourself way too seriously. Now, I'm not gonna like call anybody out, and I'm not going to like be super negative here because this was somebody who truly, genuinely came to me afterwards and apologized, and I feel like they really did feel bad. But I told somebody that they were attractive to their story, like on their story. I responded. I said, something about like, oh, I'm gonna go post something on Instagram shirtless at a beach, and then all of a sudden you're gonna go and just blow me out of the water looking all gorgeous, you know. And to me that was a compliment. Like I was saying, like, you look really good. There wasn't you trying to one up me. This was me saying like, I go post something and now you're posting something and you look way better. Like, good for you. And their response was, I think it's funny that you think that I care enough about you to try and like, I thought about you when posting. I was like, girl, I was literally just giving you a compliment. Like, they were like, I had a bad week and they apologized, so I'm giving them credit where credit's due. But an instance like that where they don't apologize and they truly think like I am the best thing since sliced bread, like, I was like sitting there, I was shook. I was like, I am not that person. I am not gonna come to you and be shady. Like, and again, they
Yeah.
did apologize, but like, to me that like was such a turn off until they apologized, because it does take a lot to go apologize to somebody. So I give them credit where credit's due. And then
It
even a
really
week
does.
later, they went back and apologized again without me even contacting them. They're like, hey, I just want to say I'm sorry again. And but my point is there's a lot of people out there who wouldn't apologize, or who truly genuinely think that. And I'm like, go, if I'm ever doing anything online, like, I will make videos and I will make posts where I'm like being sexy, and then I finish with me laughing because it's funny. I think it's funny that like, I don't like I even do this thing on stream where someone redeems blue steel. So I'll do the blue steel look and I'll just have the, and it usually ends in laughter because it's just so funny to me. I'm never gonna I cannot, like, there's this website that I make content on, and I think me trying to be sexy on it is so funny. I'm laughing afterwards, but it is so hilarious to me. Oh my gosh. Like, me trying to be attractive. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not like shitting on myself, but like me trying to be like attractive in a model sense. Oh my God. That is the funniest thing to me. I'm like, uh, I posted a picture on
Dragon,
Instagram.
please. Dragon, please. Goodbye.
This tea's
Continue.
delicious. So I have I posted a picture on Instagram where I took a picture with my cousin, and I was like, literally, this is exactly all you see is me in a picture with my cousin who happens to be really gorgeous. She's beautiful, and we're sitting there. We're just like very like giving or whatever. I don't know. That's what people say. And I'm like, before, if you would hear the conversation before and after that picture, I'm like, do you want to be like, do you want to be silly and like pretend that like model pose? And she's like, oh my god, yeah. So we're sitting there. We go. Someone takes a picture, and we're like. And we're sitting there laughing so hard because I'm like, oh, I could never, you know. Oh my god, I could never be a model for that reason. I would laugh so much.
Yeah, I can't keep a straight face either at certain times, but yeah.
So that is the plan for my content in the future, is to make silly videos like that where I'm sitting there like on TikTok. I'm like, all right, ready for the picture? And I'm like, and then after I'm just laughing. Like I'm trying to make people who do these thirst traps remake them, but make them funny, because I don't know. That's what my content's about. I'm here to be funny.
I just want to see the outtakes. I want to see the outtake because I know somewhere in there they were just trying to find the perfect angle. If you see when you see the thirst trap, just know there were several. It's like paparazzi. You see somebody take them. It's like in motion.
Yeah,
because they were trying to get in position. I'm pretty sure and if they were around other people, if somebody was in there, if they're in the bathroom, because we've all been there. We went to somebody's house and we're just in there to just take the selfie because it has really good lighting in the bathroom or whatever. And there's somebody banging on the door saying, "What are you doing in there?"
I usually respond back, "You want to join me?" You know, bathrooms are the places I get groped the most at gay bars. I was at TwitchCon and we went to a gay bar. This is funny because you mentioned that. I was sitting there. Sorry, trigger warning for anybody. But for me, like I was mad, not because like I don't give a shit about me. Like someone did it to me, and I was pissed because like if you did that to somebody else, like I would punch you in the face. I was so mad, and to me, like at first, my first instinct, because it is me, that I don't take myself seriously, and I take other people more seriously than I do take myself. It happened to me at TwitchCon, and I was like, you. At first, I laughed, and then afterwards, I'm like, that is so fucking wrong. And it's just fun because you said in the bathroom for the lighting or whatever, and I was like sitting there, I'm like, don't you think we should have probably better like privacy in bathrooms? Because that happened to me, and I was like, this really just happened. No wonder why so many people have so many, things going on for reasons like that. So if that has ever happened to anybody, I'm sorry. I'm here if you need to chat. But that is something that I was like, this just happened. But sorry to make things go from happy and silly to
it's okay.
But
it's
it was something that I was just like, yeah, that happened
Gotcha.
to me. And then I was like, wait, this also happened to me. And I was like, why don't we have better, whatever. But anyways, yeah, that happened. And yes, lighting and all those good things. Can we talk about that? Why do bathrooms have the best lighting sometimes?
It might be the ones that I see that have the best lighting, they have a window in them, but I'm very self-conscious about window placements.
Oh my god.
I don't think windows belong in bathrooms. I'm sorry.
There is a bar to up that. There is a bar in Pittsburgh. I think it's shut down, but there's literally, you're at the urinal and it is a window across, is one way, so you can see out. It's so people can continue to watch the game because it's a sports bar.
Okay.
But do you know how hard it is to pee? Like, shit. Maybe that's where the fetish came from. No, I'm just kidding. But
so is it like, okay, so you walk in, there's the wall that the urinals are on, so the window's like right there. So they can't. So if somebody, so You can see through. Can they also see
No,
in?
no, it's one way. So they can't see in there at all. It looks like a mirror to
Okay.
them. But to me, I'm like sitting there and people are watching me. They're not, but it feels like it. And it's so, it's like, because here's the urinal right here. And then here's a big sheet of glass. It's one way. They cannot see you, but you definitely feel like they can see you. Like, it is so awkward.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I was like,
Mm-mm.
I've never been so pee shy in my life.
Oh gosh, yeah, I couldn't do that. No.
It's rough.
Mm-mm.
It was a rough. I was like, I don't think I want to be in here ever again.
Seem like I shut down privacy concerns.
Right? But
Mm-mm.
anyways, that's the thing. All right, one more thing I want to get into before we end the podcast. I'd love to have you on again at some point in the future.
Oh, and I would love to come back.
I oh, and if you have time, we are going to game after this. But I do want to talk about a couple things because I know we mentioned anything coming up for you. I do know that you mentioned the versus battle with Thick Thighs on
Mhm.
Sundays. Is that on TikTok?
We had the last one on TikTok.
Because I'm not
We are
familiar.
probably gonna do this next one on Twitch. So basically, yes, next Sunday. Hold on. Next Sunday, let me see what date it is. On the 3rd, we will be having two very special guests joining us, and they are Coda Girl Chan and the lovely Intoxicated. And
Oh,
during versus
Intoxicated was
battles,
here.
we would, yes, Kimby was here. If you still hear Kimby, hey. But yes, we play Mario Party, whether you have Super Mario Party or you have Superstars. And basically, me and Thick Thighs try to be on like different teams and not the same teams. There's sometimes when we have to compromise because we're polar opposites when it comes to our tastes in Mario related things. Like
Right.
he's a Rosalina main and I'm a Daisy main. And I always refer to like the Mario parties one through I think it's 1 through 9. 1 through 9, I call those Mario parties like with the year that they came out. So let's say 2005 BR, like you know how
Yeah.
the time period like BC and
Uh
everything before Rosalie.
huh.
Before
You're dead.
Rosalie.
You're dead.
So and then he likes to get back at me by saying BT before Daisy.
You know what's really funny though? I do something similar because I'm a freaking weirdo, and I do like a BBJ and like before Billy Joel because like anytime somebody tells me now Billy Joel is probably the most prominent one, but like anybody's
Yeah.
birthday, oh I'm like, oh, you were born when? 1948. I was like, oh, that was a year before Billy Joel was born, and they're like, I don't care. Like it's like, oh sorry, it's like just blurt it out. So such a dork. Like my dad was born in 1969. Someone's like, I was born in 1967. I'm like, oh, that was 2 years before my dad was born. I don't know why. I don't know why I associate it with that. I also have a theory, and I know that somebody's gonna correct me because I know this theory is not even accurate whatsoever. But I feel like gays disappear through a certain like period, because I never meet anybody because I was born in 97, and I never meet somebody born between 97 and like I want to say like 92. I never met like for me it does happen. It's just it never happens. Every time I ask somebody, "Oh, what year were you born?" They're like 92 or before or like 97 and after. There's like a period where I'm like, "Why don't I ever meet somebody who was born in that period and like talk about it?" It's not like I know that they exist.
Well, I was born in 94, but to be honest with you, like we say that we're 90s babies, which is true, but culturally speaking, when you finally learned what that is and you listen to the music and the TV
Right.
shows and stuff, to be more specific, you're really a 2000s baby.
True.
Yes, you were born in the 90s, but culturally speaking, the stuff that you grew up with that you remember that you come to love came around in the 2000s.
Right. Well, I also never meet like anybody born the same year as me. Every time I ask them, like if I go to the bar and we're just chatting, whatever, like, oh yeah, I was born in '98, and I was like, oh cool, or they're like, oh, I was born in '92. Obviously, you were born in '94, so like that like breaks my thing. But like every time I have a conversation and it comes up to the what year were you born? No, but like I just for me it's like 92, 91, no 90s. It was always like no. I've never met anybody born 1990 that at like a gay bar. It was always like 89. There's just so many years where it's like it stands out like 92, 91, 89, and 98.
I think it has more to do with like trying to figure out who's a millennial and who's not, because a lot of people got offended by being called a millennial. And I'm like, you're a millennial. Okay. It is okay. It is okay.
It's just funny to me that those dates stick out. Kind of like, again, going back to the Billy Joel thing. Whenever I talk to somebody, they're like, oh, 48. And I'm like, oh, associate with a year before Billy Joel was born. They're like, cool. Not cool. I don't know. Something. I'm just weird.
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo. Okay.
I'm weird too, okay, and that's okay. But yeah, it does remind me of a quote that I put in my Discord. Like I think it was last month, and it said, "I absolutely refuse to argue with anyone born after the year 2000 and before 1980," which is true because the ones usually that's born before 1980, those are some of the older folks. They are the wisest. They have a lot of wisdom. They've been through some things, and you can definitely learn from them. And they've learned a lot in their lifetime.
Right.
So why are you going to sit there and argue with them? But of course, well, January 6th, we also had a lot of people that was born before the year 1980, and look what they did. So there's that. And then
True.
the ones obviously born after the year 2000, well, they think they know everything. They the young ones. So
true. It is
yeah.
weird when I start going to bars now. People are like, "Yeah, I was born in 2002." I was like, "You're 21." Oh my god. I feel like because my little brother was born in 2002. So now that my little brother's like, "Let's go get drinks," I'm like, "Shut up! You're not allowed to talk ever again." Like, shut up. Because I don't feel 25. Like I don't feel 25. Anytime someone's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like 20." I'm 25. Jesus,
I definitely feel 28.
I
feel every bit of 28. Ooh, all these years of working and
it also doesn't help too that like all of my family were born in September, except for me. I was born in December. So like I'm at the back end of the year. So everyone who was born the same year as me is like, I'm 26. I'm like, oh shit, that's coming. that's on its way. It's on its way. But real quick before we continue, because I'm sure we're chatting, we're gonna get into the Q&A part. I do want to end the podcast because I have a habit of being like, oh, I want this to be an hour-long podcast, and then 3 hours later, Ian Watson. I just, because here's the thing, is I bring on people I genuinely like, and then we get into conversation and forget to end the podcast. So we are going to get into the Q&A part because we're going to play after this, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I just have to put this cord into there and yeah.
At that point, we're good. But I do want to say, everyone, thank you so much for watching the podcast. I do appreciate you coming. Go follow Ryan. Go give love to Ryan because Ryan is fantastic. Ryan is wonderful. I want to be Ryan one day. Yes. Slay the house down, Boots.
Well, I hate to break it to you, honey. And I know you doing the split thing, but I'm not gonna be in one of your splits, okay?
One of my personalities.
There can only be one. There can only be one.
That's so funny. But true.
But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, like having this moment to open up to everybody. I'm more than just a person that plays video games and likes to blankly stare at the camera when I roll a one, or when freaking Ashanti, the head of production. That's why you have your own emote, and that's why it is the way that it is. When things just have to go.
That's funny.
And y'all are just there to see my reaction. And like I said before, if my mouth doesn't say it, my face definitely will. But freaking working in retail, you know, I try to get my bearings. I really do. Being in management, being a supervisor and stuff. Like I try my best to be mature, and I try to look at things from different perspectives. But at the end of the day, I am also a human being that has opinions, and I just can't help but just let those opinions know.
That's funny. I want to second that. I want to counteract that with I have no personality outside of streaming, so I'm very boring and emotionless. So don't come looking to me for fun.
So what you're saying is we will not be hanging out at TwitchCon Las Vegas. Okay, gotcha. I'm just kidding.
Oh. The reason why we won't be hanging out there is because I'm a broke bitch and I don't think I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna try my best. I want to. I was just talking to Bitch about this the other day, and I was like, she asked me, she's like, "Are you coming?" And I was like, "I'm literally trying to put every shot." Yes.
I am so excited. If you can make it, definitely. Oh my gosh! But I can't wait. I'm gonna meet so many people. I'm going to cry.
Oh yes.
I'm not wearing makeup. I'm going to cry. This is literally. I'm gonna be grinning from ear to ear when I see everybody. I'm going to cry. I know I am.
Yeah. No. The first time going to TwitchCon was overwhelming, in the best way. In the best way. Like, I genuinely met the best people I will ever meet in my life at TwitchCon, and it was such an incredible experience. I didn't realize how many people I knew. First of all, I want to, real quick before we end this, because we're going to end this. If you are a streamer, understand that there are actual people behind the screen watching you, supporting you, and that you're making friends with. I struggled with that for so long. For 2 years, I didn't go out to bars. I didn't do this because I was either working or streaming that night. And it really took a toll on my mental health until I went to TwitchCon and I realized these are all real people. I went into a bar of like hundreds of people, and literally I couldn't walk through without being stopped at almost every person on the way through, just chatting and talking to people. I had a straight guy who was on my plane, and he was like, "Oh, you want to hang out at TwitchCon at some point?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." He was a streamer. I was like, "Let's get together." And I went to the after party. Thank you, London Bradshaw, for getting me into the party, by the way, because it was sold out and I was not gonna get in. And I was like, "Yeah, you want to meet up?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Are you okay with going to a gay bar?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't care." So he ended up coming. I said, "Fair warning, like, I didn't realize how many people I knew here." And it true, like, I got stopped so much, and it's so incredible. So if you feel lonely because of streaming, just know you're not. Like, that was a big thing for me. It took my depression away going to TwitchCon. It genuinely did. But
I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it's gonna be very overwhelming. I always say, like, when I get discouraged, I used to get discouraged when I used to look at view count. That's why I tell people, don't tell me. Like, even when I was popping off, they would say, "Dang, you got this." I'm like, "Please don't tell me. I don't want to know the number." That's why I turned it off. I don't want to get discouraged. And then when I see people when they do stream, and some people that may have stopped streaming, they take a break because they got discouraged because they looked at the damn view count. And I'm like, I promise you, you look at that viewer list, they there. They just lurking. They working. They doing other things, but they got you pulled up. They got you tagged. Honey, they listening. They might not be watching 100%, but trust me, they there. I could give them I could give you a pop quiz right now. I promise you, a bunch of people could be answered. So don't ever get discouraged.
It's true. I've had that happen so much. The only person. So this is funny because I literally will be streaming and I'll mention, we're like sitting there talking. I'll go, "Oh yeah, Haslands," and then Haslands will be like, "Oh hey," and I'm like, "I didn't even know you were here." Like, it's so funny. It's always him. It's always him. I'll be like, "Oh, Haslands," or something like that. "Oh, Haslands hot," or something like that. And then he'll come in the chat and say something. And I'm like, "How did you?" "Well, I was watching." And I was like, "I didn't know." So funny. But Thank you all so much for watching the podcast. This hour long, that's actually an hour and a half long, almost an hour 45 minutes now, podcast. I appreciate you all so much. Ryan, thank you for coming on and being my guest.
Thank you for having me.
We need to play more games outside of what we're going to do now. But
yes, we do.
Thank you. If you are watching right now, stay for the Q&A. We are officially ending the podcast now.